What's up, fellow lords of gaming? Welcome back to another episode of Marvel Future Fight. So let's jump right on in and discuss. First things first, this is a very cool trailer sneak peek that they did. Like, that's a little cutscene movie. It's definitely bringing back those Dark Knight car chase vibes. If you remember Joker fighting Batman in the car truck scene. Let me see if I can pull this up for you real quick. I think this is it. Let me see. Yeah, so it's definitely giving these vibes. If you remember this one, basically had the truck scene inside here. Whole lot of stuff going on. If you remember this, that was the vibe I immediately got when I saw the trailer. So it's nice seeing, you know, like even all the way up until this part right here. Like it was definitely Dark Knight vibes. Like if it was definitely Dark Knight vibes. Like overall 100% Dark Knight vibes. Great by them though. However, you know, to jump in, the one thing I complained about in this trailer was essentially the look of Ghost Rider inside here. It didn't really hit for me at all. Like the uniform, I've tried not to judge uniforms, but this looks like a very hulking, brutish, like the dimensions and everything like that are off. But I'll wait for the uniform to see. If you can't see, he's also going to get his tier 4. We all knew this. These are the Halloween special uniforms, and you can see the T and the 4 inside his. There's also a T4 inside some of the other scenes as well. I think it's when the bridge blows, like some of the girders basically forms a T4, I think it was. I'd have to pull up the scene specifically, but I did really appreciate Sin getting the update inside of here, and she got a really nice, sleek looking Black Widow almost uniform. And it's been a while for Sin to get a uniform. Like, I mean, a while. So to see her getting her T3 and the uniform, pretty nice, especially a seasonal, because it should be a really good power up. Let's take a look at the characters, and let's take a look at forums over here though real quick, so that way we can get some more information. So over here in the forums, you got these. This is CM Fragment of Marvel Future Fight. Agents, the spookiest time of the year has returned. Are you ready to join the haunt of the two skulls? Check out the new looks and abilities of the superhero who fights evil with the flame of vengeance and the supervillain with diabolical intent. We will announce more information through the patch details later. Just as a segue, you know, there was no response in any of this to, you know, Doctor Strange getting a buff or anything about the team up collection. Maybe we'll see something inside the patch details on those, but for some reason I'm very doubtful. Over on the Twitter spheres, we got this spirit of vengeance rides again, his fire burning those who would do harm. His pursuit leads him against a cunning supervillain of evil lineage. Who will triumph? Of course him, man. Of course him. So it's really cool to see that. So this is essentially Sin. Like I said, you can look at her. She hasn't had a uniform since she's been released. I mean, it has been a minute since this character has had anything. So anything, I do mean anything, will be a major benefit to her. I mean, look at the 5 skill. The 5 skill has absolutely nothing on it whatsoever. Like, there is nothing on the 4, nothing really on the 3, increase all speeds, nothing on a 2, nothing on a 1. Like, this was the old days of like playing Marvel Future Fight with characters like this. I mean, an increased guaranteed dodge rate by 20 on a passive, and that's it. She basically got to remove all debuffs when debuffed, and then the frenzy buff, and that's about it. So like, anything for this character would be really nice. Increase all basic attack. We could see this leadership jump up to as much as maybe 50-55 inside there. You know, tag that on to a passive that could be just for her, and you know, maybe even a passive that could go for allies, and you basically got a T3 that could probably have some potential to do some things. The problem, let's take a look at who she's competing with in the update, however, because she's looking at speed. I don't think there's going to be very many speed supervillains that she's got to be worried about in terms of females. They need to add the male-female category inside here. So let's take a look. So inside here, female supervillains, we know that she's got to compete with Black Cat. But Black Cat's pretty much a leadership support, so she's got to be able to compete with her. She's not going to be able to compete with Mystique. Well, actually, I take that back. She could compete with Mystique because Mystique hasn't had an update in a while, even though she's just a support type character. And then she's got to compete with Squirrel Girl. This was a really good uniform for Squirrel Girl. Thank them for that, especially a nice little boost for Thanos overall. But that's it. That's all she's got to compete with. Like in the speed supervillain females, that is who she has to compete with. I mean, you could maybe say Viper will get an update at some point. I don't know. It's been a while for her as well, but like she doesn't have a whole lot of competition in terms of speed type super villains inside the game for the females. So she's standing poised to be in a really, really great position, getting a T3, especially for a seasonal uniform. She's going to probably end up being a must-have for most characters as long as she's able to beat out those four females, which I highly doubt that there will be a place where you could introduce her and she doesn't beat out the likes of them. Hell, she probably could beat out a good majority of the male speed male villains as well, with maybe the exception of Chasm. But that's a really great look for Sin. So I think that, you know, this is going to be a must pick up uniform for the speed villain days. We'll see. And then it's going to be a little weird because we do get Universal Ghost Rider inside the game. This was a very good uniform for him. I really like the uniform. They did some changes and had to go back and update some of the bike. I don't like the outfit as it was shown in the video, but my hope is that they're going to fix that and make it look better inside the game. And that was just what the movie visuals or the cinematic for the movies were. Ghost Rider has had some uniforms. This was definitely his better uniform. The King of Hell, you know, really, really good uniform for him. So let's take a look at his competition, especially at T4, because that's what he's going to be getting. Universal Superhero that he's basically got inside here. So the Universal characters is like jam packed, and I do mean jammed packed. So obviously he's got Odin and Thor that he's competing against. You still have the likes of Sentry and Silver Surfer that he's got to compete against. He could end up competing against Adam Brashear. I just think that they're going to hold off on the old Ultimate characters, which included, you know, Brashear and Blue Marvel, Sam Alexander, and then Ultraman, or whatever the hell his name is. I can never remember what the other guy's name is. So he has some competition in terms of those guys following behind him. However, he's a magic type character, and in that regard, he's not competing against very many of the characters in there, because there's definitely a subsection of characters that he could compete, especially when you look at some of the Universal males that could come behind him. I'm surprised we didn't get to see anything for Damon Hellstrom. It would have been nice to see this character get a little bit of spice and shine. Really cool character. It's really weird to me we didn't see anything from Mephisto, but I don't think a lot of people are going to complain about this in that regard. I think the Universal super villains is a little bit more crowded than the superheroes. So especially with the possibility that we do end up with a Loki update here within the next 2 months, then we really end up like, you're jam-packed with supervillain universals. Is he going to be a must-have in terms of this? Maybe not. Now, the benefit of the thing, this is going to be the place, and this is what I said when the September, October update got released, was what we're going to have to pay attention to is how they handle Ghost Rider inside this update. We saw how they handled Doctor Strange, and hopefully he's going to get some type of buff or something like that inside the game. But essentially he's going to fall within that Midnight Suns category. So as a Midnight Suns, he's going to benefit from the team up collection, and we basically have to see, are they going to do justice to the character without us having to have the reliance on that his power is going to be base leveled in terms of this the team up collection bonuses overall. My fear about the team up collection is going to be that it's a pay to win feature, 100%. But as a pay to win feature, it seems like they're going to, like, I don't want to see where Doctor Strange's potential for how good he is going to be based on the team up collection, and the same falls into, you know, Ghost Rider, especially as a pay to win system as we're seeing it. It really would really be a bad look for the game if that is what we get, because if we get that, packing it up from Doctor Strange and then rolling into Ghost Rider, and if his whole power is felt like it's diminished because of the team up collection and them basically foundationing the game now at this point, that you're saying, well, these heroes aren't going to pack the punch that the previous T4s had, and in order to get the punch that the T4s had from previous, now you've got the baked in solution of this, which is the team up collection. I'm hoping to God that's not what happens, but I've got this sneaking suspicion that that's what's going to happen. So I don't know. Like I said, this is a completely pay to win system, 100% pay to win. It's an expensive system. Even if you're just going in-game currencies, you're basically going to have the T4 characters to get to the next tier two of those. But those are the characters that we basically got coming for the mid-month update inside of October. It should be a good one. I'm praying that it's going to be a good one. I am a huge fan of Ghost Rider, but the determination on whether or not I T4 him is going to be the same as it was for Doctor Strange. Looking at the character overall, it's going to be hard. I think that he, however, stands a little bit different because he's not a native tier 2 like Doctor Strange, so he should be a little bit cheaper in terms of like getting him to tier 4 levels. You know, it's one of those things, like, you know, you're going to hit or you're going to miss with the character, and it's going to really be determined based on how they handle that the team up collection inside of here. So essentially inside the update, I don't think that it was necessarily a total bad update. It definitely left a dirty taste inside people's mouth with the team up collection inside of there. Doctor Strange still feels very underpowered, and it only seems like you're going to end up getting him power to feel like how he should, on par with some of the other T4s, by having the team up collection inside there. Obviously he'll feel more powerful with the additional 10% pierce in the game, but yeah, it's gonna be one of those juggle ups. So I'm excited to see, you know, Ghost Rider get his T4 overall. That should be a good one. And like I said to you guys before, this is the place where we pretty much set the bar for characters, right? Because like we said last year when we got the uniform for Black Bolt, that was like a bar pretty much. Like if you were to basically do a scale list of characters inside the game and you were to judge them, I'm pretty sure most of them you would see probably fall somewhere between above and below Black Bolt in terms of his usability, and you can basically power scale them to where Black Bolt was, and then you get a new iteration when we basically hit like Miles Morales, who's almost represents the peak of the power levels for that game in the game overall for the characters that were released throughout the year from October to June. So I think it's a good update coming for these guys because, like I said, Sin, she's got no competition, so that's going to be a 100% bonus uniform that you need to pick up. A seasonal uniform being placed on a character like Ghost Rider, he was really good with just this uniform. I really like the kit that they had for him overall here. I'll do an individual video for him before the update releases, so that way we can see how he stacks up inside the game. It's going to be just really hard to top the looks of this uniform. Like, this uniform to me was just like, with the skull right here and everything, that was just king of hell. Ghost Rider's uniform was just chef's kiss. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Until next time, peace.